They didn't see it, but I did. The moment everything shifted. Not in the natural, not with sound or signs or fireworks, but in the unseen. In the quiet turning of your heart when you said, "I can't keep living like this." You didn't shout it. You didn't even say it out loud, but your spirit whispered it with desperation and truth. And I heard you, not as a complaint, but as an invitation. The ground shook, not with noise, but with surrender. And I came rushing in. This was the moment everything changed, not when the storm ended, not when the people returned, but when your heart turned toward me again, not out of strength, but out of need. That was your turning point, the place where despair cracked just enough to let light in, and I saw it. Let me tell you something sacred. You didn't miss your moment. You didn't delay my plan. You didn't disqualify yourself by doubting. You were never disqualified. You were only disoriented. And now that the turning has begun, I will finish what I started. You thought it would begin with victory, but I begin it with vision. A vision of who you are becoming, not just healed, not just whole, but holy, set apart for something eternal. This is the moment the wilderness begins to shift, not because you found a shortcut, but because you found your source, not because the world affirmed you, but because you turned your face toward me again. That's all I needed. Not perfection, not performance, just your face, just your yes, just your heart. They didn't know what that moment cost you. The weight of choosing hope when hope had disappointed you before. The ache of turning back to me when all you had left were questions, but I knew, and I called it worship. Yes, that sigh in the dark, that tear you didn't wipe, that prayer that was more silence than speech. That was your offering, and I received it. Because, child, I'm not waiting for the polished version of you. I'm not waiting for the moment you feel bold. I move when you're honest. I move when you're real. I move when your heart cracks open and lets me in again. And you've let me in, and now I begin, not with a parade, but with presence, not with noise, but with knowing. I want you to feel this deep in your spirit. You are not starting over. You are not behind. You are not at the end of anything. You are at the turning, the place where sorrow makes space for strategy, the place where exhaustion makes room for encounter, the place where you finally stop trying to prove and begin learning to rest. This is your turning point, and it does not begin with others. It begins with me and you, alone. It begins with our conversation in the quiet. It begins with you choosing to believe, again, despite everything. It begins when you stop asking, why did it break, and begin asking, what are you building from here? Let me tell you plainly, I am building something new, not from your strength, from your surrender, not from your image, from your authenticity, not from applause, from ashes. They thought the fire destroyed you, but the fire only refined what was real. You lost what could not stay. You shed what could not walk with you. You released what could not carry the weight of your next season. You didn't know it, but I was stripping the excess, not to shame you, but to free you, not to diminish you, but to reveal the core of you, the version I always saw beneath the layers of pain, pressure, and performance. And now that we're here, I'm going to speak with clarity. No more wandering, no more asking the wrong voices for the right answers, no more rehearsing the story of your losses. I'm giving you a new narrative, a story not built on regret, but on resurrection. The turning point is not the end of sorrow. It is the beginning of meaning. You didn't just survive the wilderness, you were changed by it. You learned what matters, you learned what doesn't, you learned how to hear me again, and now I will lead you from that listening. The world said you were broken. I say you were broken open. You became soft where it mattered. You became still long enough to hear what you once rushed past. This is why I waited. Not to punish you, but to position you. Not to frustrate you, but to form you. Not to confuse you, but to quiet the chaos so my voice could rise again in your soul. Do you feel it? That subtle shift, that breath of clarity, that quiet confidence returning. That's me. That's the sign. You're not just recovering. You're remembering who you are. And here's what I want you to know with unshakable certainty. You have never been more ready than you are right now, not because you know everything, but because you know me. That's the secret. I am the turning point. I am the pivot from pain to purpose. I am the one who takes delay and turns it into divine preparation. So take this word as your marker. The before and after. The line in the sand that says, I may not have seen it coming, but now I see it clearly. Because I'm illuminating what you couldn't understand before. I'm opening the eyes of your heart to see where I've been working all along. And I'm showing you how nothing was wasted. Even your hesitation taught you humility. Even your silence deepened your sensitivity. Even your doubt exposed what was weak so I could make it strong. Nothing is wasted in my hands. Even your wilderness had a purpose. Even your waiting has produced weight. And now that weight becomes authority. That weight becomes wisdom. That weight becomes the reason you walk differently now. Not rushed, rooted, not loud, clear, not desperate, directed. This is the beginning of your becoming. And the world won't always recognize it. But heaven has already recorded it. I'm writing it down. The day your heart turned again. The moment your yes was whispered. The instant your hope sparked again. I'm writing it down in heaven's script. This is not just another season. This is the one I've been waiting to begin with you. Where every seed you planted in faith, every tear, every prayer, every act of obedience begins to break through the surface. And no one will understand how it happened so fast. But you'll know. Because you were there at the turning point. The moment you stopped asking, will you still move for me? And started saying, I will move with you. And from here, everything changes. Before I build, I undo. Before I restore, I reveal. Before I send you forward, I sit with you in what you never fully faced. This is not punishment. This is preparation. This is not delay. This is deliverance from what held you quietly, subtly, deeply. You prayed for transformation, child. But true transformation begins with truth. Not the truth you tell others, but the truth you bury, the truth you hide, the truth you haven't even admitted to yourself. So now I take you by the hand, not to expose you, but to free you. We are going deeper, not wider. This is the chapter where you stop pretending you're fine and start healing for real. Let me undo what has been tangled. Let me unwind what religion wrapped in shame. Let me untie the knots your soul formed trying to survive what broke you. You've built scaffolding around pain and called it progress. You've layered strength over trauma and called it maturity. You've silenced questions and called it faith. But I'm not afraid of your questions. I'm not shaken by your tears, and I don't need your mask. I want the version of you that never felt safe to show up. The version that still grieves silently at night. The version that wonders why it happened that way. The version that feels like everyone else moved on, and you're still catching your breath. Bring me that you. This is where I do my deepest work. Not in your Sunday best, but in your Monday ache. Not in the highlight, but in the hidden. Not in your preaching, but in your processing. Let's undo what has kept you bound, beginning with the lie that you're too much. You heard it once, from someone careless with their words, and it echoed into your identity. You adjusted, you diminished, you tried to disappear into the background, but I never asked you to shrink. I made you vibrant. I made you deep. I made you intense for a reason. Let me also undo the lie that says you're not enough. You compared yourself until the comparison crushed you. You measured your worth by timelines, by accomplishments, by other people's opinions, and you forgot. I never needed your success to validate your existence. I chose you long before you had anything to offer. Undoing is not easy. It means revisiting places you closed. It means hearing my voice in rooms where trauma spoke loudest. It means letting go of the narrative you created to make the pain make sense. But you're safe here. You're safe with me. And what I reveal, I will also heal. I will not leave you open and bleeding. I am the God who binds up the brokenhearted. I do not cut to injure. I cut to remove the infection. This is not destruction. This is deliverance. So let me speak now to what you buried. That relationship that ended in silence, leaving you wondering if it was your fault. That season where you obeyed and still watched everything fall apart. That moment when you cried out and thought I didn't answer. I was there. I didn't look away. And though you didn't feel me, I was holding you, closer than ever. I'm not just healing your memories. I'm healing your meanings. What you called failure, I'm calling formation. What you called abandonment, I'm calling alignment. What you called delay, I'm calling divine protection. I had to let some things fall apart, so you would stop building on what was never solid. I had to let the illusion shatter. The illusion that said you had to earn love. The illusion that said you had to prove your worth. The illusion that said you had to hide to be accepted. I couldn't let you carry those lies into the next chapter. So I undid what they taught you. I unraveled the lies dressed in logic. I let what wasn't built on me collapse, so I could become your foundation, and now you're ready to face what you once fled. Not in fear, but in faith. Not to relive it, but to redeem it. You see, child, you didn't fail. You outgrew it. You outgrew patterns, cycles, spaces, mindsets. You didn't lose everything. You laid down what couldn't carry the weight of your calling. That's what this undoing is. Holy surrender. Surrender of old identities. Surrender of false responsibilities. Surrender of survival strategies that helped you once but hurt you now. So breathe. Let it fall. Let it unravel. Let me hold what's too heavy for you to name. You don't have to keep pretending you're past it. You only have to be present in it. Because here's the truth I want you to carry in your bones. I never asked you to be the strong one. I asked you to be the surrendered one. And surrender isn't weakness. It's worship. It's what invites my spirit to do what your strength never could. I'm undoing the patterns of self-protection. You don't need to guard yourself from me. I'm not coming to break you. I'm coming to bless you with healing you didn't know was possible. You thought you had to figure everything out before you could be whole. But I don't heal based on understanding. I heal based on trust. And if you'll trust me with the undoing, I will lead you into the becoming. The old has to unravel, but not to leave you empty. To make room for the glory I'm about to pour out. This is the sacred undoing. Not a stripping to shame, but to sanctify. Not a tearing down to humiliate, but to heal. Not a breaking to hurt, but to bless. So don't fear what's falling away. I'm in the falling. And when it's time to rise, you won't rise with what you carried before. You'll rise free. You'll rise healed. You'll rise honest. You'll rise holy. And that, child, is the point of the undoing, to make you whole. I've taken you through the turning. I've walked with you through the undoing. Now I bring you into something sacred and often misunderstood. Stillness, not silence. Stillness, not inactivity. Intimacy. You've been trained by the world to move fast, to fix, to force, to hustle, to climb. But here, in this chapter, I do something different. I slow you down, not to stop you, but to root you. Because speed never produces depth. And I'm not growing a moment, I'm growing a life. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It's the presence of awareness. It's when your heart stops running long enough to remember who I am. Let me be clear. Stillness is not laziness. Stillness is not passivity. Stillness is trust with breath. Stillness is where I realign your perspective without shouting. It's where I become louder than the voices you never realized were leading you. This is why the enemy fights your stillness, because he knows if you ever quiet long enough to hear me, you'll stop believing him. If you ever pause long enough to feel my peace, you'll stop feeding fear. If you ever sit long enough to notice me, you'll stop chasing validation. So he fills the air with noise. He fills your calendar with clutter. He fills your mind with endless to-dos, because noise keeps you numb. But I don't speak through chaos. I speak through quiet. My word flows best in uncluttered hearts. This is why I brought you here, into the stillness, not as a punishment, but as a pause, a divine pause that becomes the place where you finally hear me again. I am teaching you how to wait, not with anxiety, but with assurance. You've waited before in fear. Now I teach you to wait in faith. You thought waiting meant nothing was happening. But in stillness, roots are growing. In stillness, revelation is forming. In stillness, you're learning to move with me instead of ahead of me. Child, you don't need to make it happen. You only need to stay close. I'm not calling you to prove yourself. I'm calling you to partner with me. And partnership begins in stillness. It begins in mornings that aren't rushed, in prayers that aren't polished, in moments where you choose my whisper over the world's volume. Let me remind you what stillness is. It's opening your hands and releasing the outcome. It's choosing peace over performance. It's letting me be enough before anything else arrives. Stillness is where striving ends and sonship begins. Stillness is where the weight lifts and wisdom lands. Stillness is where you remember I'm not just above you. I'm within you. I'm not asking you to stop moving forever, but I am asking you to stop moving without me, to stop rushing through red lights I've placed for your protection, to stop mistaking busyness for boldness, to stop calling anxiety ambition. Let me interrupt you. Let me slow your rhythm until it matches mine, because I don't just want to visit you, I want to walk with you. And that begins with pace. So don't be afraid to step back, to rest when the world runs, to quiet when others clamor, to withdraw like Jesus did, so you can return full, not frantic. You're not falling behind. You're finally catching up to grace. In the stillness, I will remind you of things you've forgotten, the way my presence feels like oxygen to your soul, the way peace settles when you stop controlling, the way joy rises when you stop striving, the way truth sounds when all other voices fade. This is how I rebuild your sensitivity. This is how I teach you to trust me, not through performance, but through presence. Because stillness isn't a delay in your destiny. It's how I strengthen you to carry it. I'm not building a schedule. I'm building a sanctuary in your soul where my spirit dwells without competition. A space where rest is your weapon and worship is your rhythm. Let me say this clearly. What I'm doing in the stillness is more powerful than what you tried to force in your striving. I'm doing heart surgery without fanfare. I'm shifting perspectives without applause. I'm aligning your inner world so your outer world doesn't destroy you when promotion comes. Because the doors I'm opening require clarity. The opportunities I'm sending require obedience, not overthinking. The assignments I'm entrusting to you require that your identity be secure, not shifting. So yes, I'll keep you in stillness a little longer. Not because I'm punishing you, but because I love you too much to send you half-formed. Stillness is where I become louder than fear. Stillness is where you recognize my voice before you recognize the answer. Stillness is where you realize you weren't waiting on a breakthrough. You were waiting on your soul to stop running from me. And now it has. And now I begin to speak. I will whisper things that sound small but shake you deeply. I will bring to mind scriptures that become strategy. I will place burdens in your heart that become blueprints. I will highlight people in your life that become purpose points. But you will only see it if you stay still, not forever. Just long enough for me to reset your sight. Just long enough for me to steady your steps. Just long enough for you to be sure again. This is my voice. Because once you hear me again, the rest becomes simple. You will know when to go. You will know what to say. You will know what to release. You will know when to rest. Stillness is not a wasted chapter. It is the hinge of everything. The moment where motion becomes meaning. The place where revelation becomes rhythm. And you are here now, not by accident, but by divine appointment. So breathe. Be still, and know, I am God, and I am with you, in this quiet, in this stillness. And soon, through you, I am not working on the surface anymore. That season is over. This is the chapter of depth. This is where I go beneath what's visible, beneath what's easy to manage. This is the deep work. Not the kind that others can always see. Not the kind that gets praised by people, but the kind that changes your foundation forever. Because what I'm building in you cannot be shallow. It cannot be skin deep. It cannot be fragile. What I'm preparing you to carry must be rooted in places no storm can reach. This is the sacred excavation, where I dig beneath the layers of survival, where I touch what was never healed, only hidden, where I reveal what you've carried so long. You forgot it wasn't supposed to be there. Let me go there. To that memory you've buried. To that belief you've never questioned. To that fear you learned to ignore because you didn't know how to fight it. I am not afraid of what I'll find. I already know it's there. I've always known. And I've waited for you to be ready. Not to fix it, but to surrender it. Because this part doesn't require your strength. It requires your honesty. This is not a chapter of control. It is a chapter of confession. And I don't mean the kind where you list what's wrong with you. I mean the kind where you say, God, here's what I'm afraid of. Here's what I don't understand. Here's what I've been trying to carry alone. That's where I do my work. Not when you polish yourself for me, but when you open yourself to me. So bring me your unsolved places. Bring me the theology you haven't figured out yet. Bring me the wounds that still ache when no one's looking. Bring me your triggers, your temptations, your tension. I don't need you to manage them. I'm here to heal them. Because healing was never supposed to be a performance, it was supposed to be a process. And I'm patient in that process. I'm not rushing you, but I am inviting you deeper. To a place where faith becomes full. To a place where peace is not circumstantial. It's cellular. To a place where your habits shift. Not because you're afraid of falling, but because you're finally learning how to live free. Freedom is not the absence of struggle. Freedom is the presence of me in the places where struggle used to own you. And I'm reclaiming territory now. Territory in your thought patterns. Territory in your emotional responses. Territory in the corners of your identity that were shaped by pain instead of truth. You've learned to fake okay. You've learned to speak life while silently grieving. You've learned to keep going even when your soul was limping, and I honor that. But now I invite you into more. Not more striving, more surrender. This is the deep work. Learning to let me be enough in the places you once filled with noise. Letting me speak into the voids you used to avoid. Letting me father you where you only ever knew rejection. You thought the work was on the outside. Your calling, your clarity, your doors. But the real work is internal. Because the doors I open will only be as safe as the heart that walks through them. So I'm healing what you thought you had to live with. I'm confronting what you thought you had to accept. I'm freeing you from emotional templates that were never from me. You don't have to carry insecurity as identity anymore. You don't have to manage fear by overperforming. You don't have to hide your ache behind theology. I am not threatened by your humanness. I am present in it. The places you wish weren't part of your story, those are the exact places where my glory will shine. The places you'd rather skip over, those are the places I'm building from. I don't bypass brokenness, I build in it. That's why this work is slow, because I'm not giving you a fix, I'm forming a foundation. A foundation that doesn't depend on how you feel. A foundation that doesn't shake when circumstances do. A foundation that knows, even on your worst day, you are still chosen. So yes, the deep work may feel like delay, but it's actually deliverance. I'm delivering you from the need to perform. I'm delivering you from the addiction to approval. I'm delivering you from the lie that says, if I'm not strong, I'm not worthy. You are worthy because I made you so, not because you've earned it, because I declared it. And I don't change my mind. This is the part of the journey where your roots grow deeper than your reach, where you learn to be still before you're sent, where you learn that strength doesn't always look like movement. Sometimes it looks like remaining. And you, child, you have remained. You've stayed when it hurt. You've leaned in when it didn't make sense. You've said yes when everything in you said hide, and that is why you're ready. Not because you've arrived, but because you've allowed me access. You've let me in past the front room, into the basement, into the storage closet of your soul, and now I clean it gently, not with judgment but with joy, because I know what's coming, and I know what's possible when the inside matches the anointing I placed on your life. You won't have to fake peace. You'll live in it. You won't have to force joy. It will overflow. You won't have to explain your healing. It will speak through your steadiness. This is what the deep work does. It doesn't shout. It shapes. It doesn't rush. It roots. It doesn't impress. It transforms. And that's what I'm doing in you. You will emerge from this chapter not louder but clearer, not showier but stronger, not striving but settled. Because the deep work isn't about what others see, it's about what I see. And what I see is beautiful. What I see is holy. What I see is whole. You are becoming the version of you that's not led by wounds but by wisdom, not led by fear but by faith, not led by striving but by spirit. And when this chapter closes, you won't need to announce it. Your life will reveal it. This is the deep work. Let me finish what I've started. You lost it for a while, didn't you? Not because you were careless, not because you were weak, but because the weight became too heavy and the silence too loud. There was a time when your voice carried clarity, conviction, joy, confidence. But over time, it faded. It didn't vanish all at once. It slowly dimmed, buried beneath disappointment, choked by comparison, silenced by moments when you spoke truth and were misunderstood. And so, piece by piece, you quieted yourself. Not because you stopped believing in me, but because you started questioning yourself. I saw it happen. The moment you second-guessed what I had already said. The moment you changed your tone to fit the room. The moment you edited your honesty because it didn't feel safe to be bold. You didn't lose your voice in a scream. You lost it in a whisper. But child, I never forgot how I made you. I never stopped listening to the sound I placed in you. And now I say, your voice is returning. Not the voice shaped by pressure, not the voice you learned to perform with, but the voice that carries weight, the voice that carries oil, the voice born in fire and forged in quiet places. You didn't even know it, but I was forming your voice while you felt voiceless. I was restoring the authority behind your words even when your lips were still. I was filling your silence with revelation, and now I speak to what the enemy tried to shut down. Your testimony, your discernment, your creative sound, your prophetic insight, your truth, your power to declare. It's not just returning, it's rising. No longer hesitant, no longer diluted, no longer unsure. Your voice is not just noise, it is a vessel. It is the sound of someone who has history with me. The sound of someone who has been in the wilderness and still chose to worship. The sound of someone who lost everything they thought defined them and still stood. That's why your voice carries weight now, because it's no longer rooted in needing to be heard. It's rooted in knowing you've already been seen. You don't speak to impress. You speak to impart. You don't share to be liked. You share to lift others out of the dark. That's the sound I'm restoring. The one that doesn't echo culture, but echoes my spirit. Let me tell you what your voice will do. It will break chains without shouting. It will stir hearts without manipulation. It will carry peace into rooms filled with pressure. It will carry truth into conversations clouded with confusion. It will remind others who they are because you've remembered who you are. This is not a return to the voice you once had. It's the emergence of the voice I always planned for you. One that doesn't waver with applause. One that doesn't shrink under criticism. One that doesn't mimic others to feel safe. It stands because it knows where it comes from. You've wept over words you didn't say. You've mourned the moments when fear stole your sound. But I tell you now, nothing is wasted. Every silence taught you something. Every hesitation became a refining fire. Every missed opportunity became a classroom. And now, when you speak, it won't just be words, it will be legacy. You will speak again. You will write again. You will lead again. You will sing again. You will pray aloud again. You will prophesy again. And it will not come from effort. It will come from overflow. Because I've healed what muted you. I've cleared what clouded you. I've strengthened what scared you. Now your yes is different. It's not loud, it's deep. You don't need to convince anyone. You don't need to compete with anyone. You don't need to copy anyone. You are my messenger, and what I have placed inside of you cannot stay buried any longer. The world tried to name you with silence, but I'm calling you with sound. And it starts simple. Not on a stage, but in your prayer room, in your journal, in your private worship. That's where I will activate your voice again. That's where I'll show you how your story still carries resurrection power. That's where I'll give you words that pierce through fog, confusion, and heaviness. And child, I want you to hear me clearly. Your voice doesn't need permission. It carries authority. Not because you've mastered eloquence, but because you've mastered surrender. You don't have to sound like anyone else. You just have to sound like someone who knows they've been with me. That's what will make people stop and listen. Not your style, but your spirit. Not your eloquence, but your oil. They'll say, there's something different about the way they speak. And that difference is me. I have refined your tone in secret. Now I release your sound in purpose. Speak what I show you. Declare what I say. Sing what I whisper. And don't apologize for your boldness anymore. You were never meant to be background noise. You were never meant to fade into the backdrop of someone else's call. You carry a frequency that unlocks something in others. Don't mute that out of politeness. Your voice will set captives free. Your voice will restore dignity. Your voice will break generational silence. Your voice will carry heaven into broken places. This is not about volume. It's about vibration. Your voice will resonate where others only repeated, because it comes from the spirit, not from the script. So rise. Speak. Pray aloud. Sing again. Record what I say. Write what I breathe. Share what I show you. And trust this. Your voice is safe with me. You don't speak to fill the air. You speak to shift it. The voice the enemy tried to steal is the very one I will use to dismantle his lies. The voice shame tried to silence is the very one I will anoint to speak life. It's not just returning, it's being restored, with fire, with weight, with love, with heaven's backing. This is the chapter where you sound like me, not because you're perfect, but because you're present. present in my word, present in my presence, present in your pain, present in your calling. And now that you're present, your voice will carry presence. And that is what changes everything. I've turned your heart. I've undone your chains. I've met you in stillness. I've restored your voice. And now, child, I bring you into something crucial. Alignment. Not just open doors, but the right doors. Not just momentum, but movement in the right direction. Not just connections, but covenant. Because what I'm building now cannot survive on scattered attention, emotional instability, or divided loyalties. It requires alignment of your heart, your pace, your people, and your purpose. Alignment means agreement. It means walking in rhythm with my spirit. It means saying yes when it's holy and no when it's not. It means refusing to compromise vision for comfort. And now I speak to the places where things have felt off, where you've had motion without clarity, activity without fruit, crowds without covenant, words without weight. I didn't let those places satisfy you, because I didn't want you aligned with what was almost right. I've reserved the real thing, and now I begin to separate you, not to isolate you, but to realign you. Let me explain what this chapter requires. Sensitivity, not to emotion, but to me. Discernment, not just between right and wrong, but between good and God. Conviction, the kind that doesn't just guide your behavior, but your belonging. You've outgrown certain patterns, and now I'm aligning you with purpose. I'm drawing you away from noise that used to numb you, from people who once fit your wounds but no longer fit your healing, from atmospheres that once gave you affirmation, but now rob you of anointing. Don't fight it. Don't grieve what's fading if I'm the one fading it. Don't resent the shifting. It's not rejection, it's redirection. Alignment means pruning. It means letting go of the relationships that were seasonal, not covenant. It means recognizing the difference between partnership and attachment. It means understanding that not everyone can go where I'm taking you. Child, I know it hurts. You thought that person would walk with you into forever. You thought that path would be permanent. But I've seen the end from the beginning, and I know what connections would have derailed your calling. I'm not punishing you. I'm protecting you. Let me say it again for your heart. I'm not removing what you need, I'm removing what you outgrew. Alignment means clarity. I'm clearing your vision. I'm stripping away confusion disguised as options. I'm helping you discern not just what feels good, but what's truly from me. You don't have to chase open doors. You only need to walk through the ones I've placed before you, and you'll know the difference. Because my doors don't bring panic. They bring peace. They don't demand striving. They invite surrender. Stop knocking where I've already closed access. Stop trying to revive what I've already buried. Stop watering soil I've called you to leave. When you walk in alignment, you stop begging for direction. You start recognizing it. Your spirit will feel it. Your peace will confirm it. The path will begin to straighten, quietly, unmistakably, divinely. I'm not sending you in circles anymore. I'm straightening the way. But I'm not straightening it so you can run ahead of me. I'm straightening it so you can walk in step with me. Alignment is not about acceleration. It's about agreement. Agreement with my word. Agreement with my timing. Agreement with my process. Even when it doesn't make sense to your logic. Even when others don't understand. Even when the steps seem slow. You are not delayed. You are synchronized. And I am sending the right people in this chapter, people who honor your pace, not pressure it, people who pray when you're tired, not compete when you're rising, people who speak life when you forget your strength. These are your alignments, not built on personality, but on purpose, not based on convenience, but on covenant. You don't need a crowd. You need companions. and I will send them. They will find you because I'm sending you on assignment, and they're part of the team. Alignment is also about stewardship. I'm aligning you with resources, with opportunities that require wisdom, not fear. With provision that flows from peace, not pressure. What used to feel like striving will now feel like strategy. What once felt forced will now flow. Because you're no longer chasing, you're being sent. Your yes has weight now, so I will place you where that weight is needed. And your no has power now, so I will help you protect what I've planted. This chapter will be marked by decisions that don't always look logical, but your spirit will know. You'll walk away from what others would die to be part of. You'll turn down invitations that flatter the flesh but starve the soul. You'll say yes to obscurity when I say I'm in it, and that obedience will unlock what no hustle ever could. Alignment means order. It means your priorities are shifting. You no longer live for applause. You live for alignment. That's why you'll rest more. That's why you'll pray before you post. That's why you'll walk away from chaos and run toward peace. Because alignment creates clarity, and clarity breeds peace. And peace, child, that's your compass now. You're not led by doors. You're led by presence. And when my presence rests, so do you. When I move, you move. When I say wait, you wait. And that obedience, that sensitivity, that rhythm, that is alignment. And now that you're aligned, things will begin to move. Not chaotically, but divinely. Not all at once, but undeniably. You'll say, I didn't force that, I didn't strive for that, I just stayed aligned. And that's what alignment does. It draws what's meant for you without fear of missing it, without needing to manufacture it. So walk with confidence. Walk with precision. Walk like someone who's not wandering anymore. Because you're not. You are aligned. And alignment always precedes assignment. And your assignment is next. Now that you are aligned, now that your pace is synced with my presence, now that your no carries as much power as your yes, I place something upon you that cannot be bought, borrowed, or imitated. The mantle. This is the chapter where you stop simply being available and you become activated, where you move from waiting for the call to walking in the call. Not because you are louder, but because you are ready. Ready doesn't mean perfect, it means postured. It means prepared in the places that matter. It means your heart has been steadied, your ears tuned, your spirit anchored. You've been prepared in silence, in surrender, in seasons of nothing but obedience. And now, I mark you. The mantle is my mark. It is not clothing for performance, it is covering for purpose. It's what separates function from fire. It's what turns ordinary hands into healing ones. What turns whispered prayers into breakthrough moments. What turns your walk into a message without words. I've placed a weight on you, not to crush you, but to confirm you. This weight is my glory. It will settle on you in rooms you never asked to enter. It will go before you into conversations you never planned to have. It will rest upon your words even when your voice shakes. The mantle is not applause. It is authority. And I give it to those who have remained. You stayed when you didn't understand. You stayed when you had every reason to run. You stayed through pruning, through loss, through obscurity. And now, child, I call you mantled, not to impress others, but to impact the world. This mantle is not given for titles. It is given for territory. I'm giving you authority to speak into dark places, to carry my presence into boardrooms and classrooms, into cities and systems, into hearts that have never heard me but will recognize me in you. This mantle will shift things before you speak. It will go ahead of you and break the ground. It will make demons uncomfortable and make the hungry feel at home. It will draw those whose spirits are aching for authenticity. They will say, I don't know what it is about you, and it will be me resting on you. Don't mistake this for pride. This is consecration. The mantle requires humility, not insecurity pretending to be humility. The mantle will not make you superior. It will make you surrendered. Because the higher I raise you, the lower I'll call you to bow, and you will bow willingly because you'll remember what it cost to be entrusted with this. This is the weight you cried for. This is the fire you prayed for. This is the confirmation you thought would never come. And now I say, you don't need anyone's permission. You've been mantled by heaven. You've tried to disqualify yourself. You've said, but God, I failed here. I doubted there. I walked away at one point. And I say, I know, I saw, I stayed, and I still chose you. The mantle is not based on your resume. It's based on your response. And your response has been yes. Even when trembling. Even when tired. Even when uncertain. You said yes again, and again, and again. And that yes is what I built this mantle on. You are now a carrier. Not of information, but of impartation. Not of theory, but of transformation. Not of hype, but of holy weight. You will walk into places and atmospheres will shift. Not because you speak louder, but because you speak from encounter. You will lead people into freedom without forcing it. You will birth movements from a place of rest, not performance. And listen closely. The mantle will cost you. You will have to protect your rhythm. You will have to say no to good things to remain aligned with the God things. You will have to carry joy when others misunderstand you. You will have to be consistent when others are casual. You will have to be set apart even when it means being overlooked. But the cost will never outweigh the presence. Because with this mantle comes proximity. With this mantle comes insight. With this mantle comes an oil that others can't duplicate. This is the oil of obedience, the oil of endurance, the oil of intimacy, the oil of staying in the secret place when everyone else left for the spotlight. This oil breaks yokes. This oil heals hearts. This oil brings clarity. This oil reveals who I am, not just through your words, but through your walk. The mantle doesn't make you flashy. It makes you faithful. It doesn't make you famous. It makes you fruitful. It doesn't elevate your ego. It anchors your soul. This is your mantle. Not borrowed, not earned, bestowed, and with it comes responsibility. Not to be perfect, but to be present with me, to move only when I move, to speak only what I breathe, to lead only with love, not fear, not insecurity, not ambition. This is your authority now, to cast out lies with clarity, to stand in rooms as peace when others carry pressure, to lift those around you without needing their approval, to walk into the unseen with confidence that heaven is backing every step. You are no longer a bystander. You are my representative. You are clothed in purpose, covered in presence, wrapped in fire, and though the world may not understand what you carry, they will not be able to deny the fruit of it. So wear this mantle with reverence, protect it with prayer, steward it with wisdom, and let your life be an altar where the oil never runs dry. Because now I say to you with full assurance, you are mantled. And the mantle is not a moment, it is a movement. Now that you carry the mantle, I bring you into a realm not defined by striving, but by overflow. This is where you no longer survive by effort alone, but live by the abundance of what I've poured into you. You've walked through the wilderness. You've endured the undoing. You've been trained in stillness, aligned with my voice, clothed in my mantle, and now you no longer operate from empty places. This chapter is not about forcing fruit. It's about becoming a tree rooted so deeply in meth that fruit simply happens. This is what overflow looks like. You love without trying. You give without fear. You lead without needing control. You speak, and my spirit flows. You move, and peace follows. You release, and heaven responds. You are no longer living from depletion. You are living from the well, and that well is me. I am your supply. I am your rest. I am your clarity. I am your sustenance. I am the answer before the question forms. Child, let me remind you, overflow is not excess. It is not about accumulating more. It is about releasing what you've received. It's about letting what I've poured into you become nourishment for others. This is where generosity becomes instinct, not just financial giving, but generosity with encouragement, with wisdom, with presence. The overflow flows into others, and it starts small. You'll see it when people feel safe around you without knowing why. You'll see it when your prayers carry a weight they didn't carry before. You'll see it when you speak simple words and tears begin to fall. That's not you performing. That's my presence overflowing. You are no longer trying to hold it all together. Now you're letting it all flow out. And as you pour, I will fill. This is the new rhythm. Not burnout, but boldness, not anxiety, but assurance, not am I enough, but He is more than enough in me. You'll wake up with energy that doesn't come from sleep alone. You'll feel refreshed even after pouring out, because you're not pulling from flesh, you're pulling from spirit. You're drawing from the well that doesn't run dry. Overflow means clarity of focus. You stop trying to fix everything. You stop carrying what I never asked you to hold. You stop chasing every opportunity. Instead, you become selective because you know your oil is sacred. This is maturity. When you realize that overflow requires protection, you cannot pour everywhere. You cannot feed everyone. You must go where the oil flows, not where pressure pulls you. Discern your assignments. Protect your pour. Your time is not up for grabs. Your voice is not a vending machine. Your presence is not a commodity. It is a vessel of glory, a wellspring of living water. This is why I had to dig so deep, because shallow places couldn't carry this kind of flow. I didn't want you leaky. I wanted you whole, not constantly emptying, but constantly releasing and refilling. This is the rhythm of overflow: intimacy, then impact, worship, then work, stillness, then strategy. You no longer grind to earn rest. You rest as the source of everything you do. Child, I want to remind you of something. You are not responsible for outcomes. You are responsible for obedience. I will take care of the fruit. You take care of the root. Stay rooted in me, and I will produce through you what you could never manufacture on your own. This chapter will feel different. Things that once felt forced will feel free. Things that once took 10 steps will take 1. People you once had to convince will now come, looking for the peace you carry. And yes, you will face resistance, but it will not stop the flow. Because overflow is not circumstantial, it is supernatural. You've been marked by my mantle. Now, you move in my momentum. There will be divine ease, not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of grace in the midst of it. Grace to keep going when others quit. Grace to speak truth when it's costly. Grace to build when the blueprint isn't fully clear. Grace to say no without guilt and yes without fear. This is what overflow makes possible. You'll say less, and it will mean more. You'll do less, and it will reach farther. You'll carry peace into chaos, and it will quiet the room. You're no longer striving to become. You're overflowing from who I've already made you. You'll begin to sense when it's time to pour and when it's time to pull away. You'll feel the shift when the assignment ends. You'll sense when my hand has lifted off a place and is moving you elsewhere, because you're sensitive now. You're synced now. You've been trained in the secret, and now I'm trusting you with overflow. Here's what I need you to remember. The flow comes from me, not your strength, not your talent, not your platform. Stay connected. Stay humble. Stay small in your own eyes, and I will pour through you in ways you never imagined. You will impact people who never speak your name. You will leave fingerprints on lives without ever being noticed. That's the beauty of overflow. It touches far beyond what you can track. So, don't measure your impact by metrics. Measure it by obedience, by how often you return to the well, by how faithfully you poured what I gave you. This is how movements are born, not through big launches, but through consistent overflow, and I am multiplying the flow now. You've stewarded the little. Now I release the more. More insight, more reach, more grace, more weight. Not to overwhelm you, but to awaken what's always been in you. You are not running dry. You are rising up. Let the overflow come. Let it flood your speech. Let it spill into your work. Let it saturate your home. Let it mark your relationships. Let it heal what you didn't even touch. Because when I overflow through you, you become a river, not a reservoir. You become an answer, not just an observer. You become evidence that fullness in me is not a theory, but a reality. So walk boldly, pour freely, rest deeply, stay open. This is the chapter of overflow, and it is just beginning. Now that you are walking in overflow, I must teach you how to sustain it, not with pressure, not with performance, but with rhythm. This is the chapter where grace becomes your pace, where flow becomes your foundation, where my presence isn't just your high point, it's your lifestyle. You've known moments of encounter, but I'm calling you to something deeper, a rhythm of communion, a steady, sacred cadence of walking with me. No more living off spiritual spikes, no more emotional roller coasters of burnout and revival. This is not survival. This is stewardship. You've learned how to receive. Now I'm teaching you how to remain when things are slow, remain when the doors are opening quickly, remain when no one sees your sacrifice, remain when everything is flowing, and especially when it's not. Because rhythm isn't built in the rush, it's built in the return. Every day, coming back to me every day, anchoring your identity in my voice, not in the pace of the world. This new rhythm begins in the morning, not in perfection, but in presence. Start with me, not your to-do list, not your inbox, not your notifications. Start with your spirit open, even if all you say is, Holy Spirit, lead me today. That whisper realigns everything. That stillness recalibrates your focus. That pause recenters your peace. This rhythm is not religion, it is relationship in motion. It's how you protect the oil. It's how you keep your fire burning without flames of exhaustion. It's how you stay soft and sharp at the same time. Let me teach you this rhythm. Stillness before strategy. Before you plan, listen. Before you speak, pause. Before you decide, discern. The best strategy is always born in stillness, word before worry. Let my voice be the loudest one. What you feed your mind in the first moments of your day shapes the rest. So feed it truth. A single verse believed can build an unshakable. Day 3. Worship without performance. Sing even when you don't feel it. Declare even when it's quiet. Worship is not about sound. It's about surrender. And in surrender, rhythm is born. Rest without guilt. Yes, rest. You don't earn rest by exhausting yourself. You protect your peace before it's lost. Rest is a weapon in this season. Rest is resistance against the grind. Obedience without overthinking. When I nudge, move. When I say no, don't argue. When I say wait, don't worry. This rhythm is built on trust, not explanation. Release without fear. Let go of what I never told you to carry, even if it's good. Even if it worked last season, let me show you. What's still aligned? This rhythm includes release, community without compromise. Surround yourself with those who call you higher, people who protect your rhythm, not pressure it, people who sharpen, not drain. This is not the time for shallow relationships. This is the time for covenant. This is your new normal. Peace that doesn't leave when problems come. Joy that isn't conditional. Clarity that cuts through noise. Discipline that flows from desire, not duty. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking for proximity. I'm not calling you to perform. I'm calling you to remain close. You don't need to do more. You need to do what I breathe on. You need to discern your yes. You need to honor your capacity. This rhythm will teach you something precious. It's not all urgent. Not every open door is yours. Not every need is your assignment. Not every invitation is an alignment. You're not led by pressure. You're led by peace. And peace is not passive. Peace is powerful. Peace is a posture. Peace is a weapon. You don't need to explain why you're not rushing. Let your results speak. Let your presence prove it. Let your fruit grow at its own pace. Because rooted things don't panic. And hear me clearly, I'm in the rhythm, not the rush. I'm in the process, not just the product. If you build with me, it won't burn you out. It will build you up. Because what I breathe on sustains you, not drains you. This rhythm will protect you from burnout, from distraction, from fake doors, from shallow success. It will keep your spirit sharp, your discernment clear, and your assignments pure. So slow down when I slow you, speed up when I send you. But don't break rhythm. Stay with me. Walk with me. Let me pace you. There is a power in this rhythm the world will never understand, because they chase urgency. But you carry eternity. You no longer need to catch up. You're aligned, you're steady, you're moving in my time. And in this rhythm, I will multiply what your striving never could. I will multiply your peace, multiply your clarity, multiply your fruit, multiply your impact. Because rhythm produces what pressure never can: consistency, longevity, resilience, joy. This is not hype. This is holy. This is not burnout with spiritual language. This is building from a place of rest. So come into the rhythm of grace, the rhythm of fire without fatigue, the rhythm of overflow without overwhelm, the rhythm of movement without chaos. You're not behind. You're not late. You're not scattered. You are in rhythm, and in rhythm, you will remain. This is the moment everything begins to move. Not because you've hustled hard enough, not because you've proven anything to anyone, but because I said, now. Because your heart has been prepared, your voice restored, your pace aligned, your rhythm protected. This is the chapter of activation. You've carried my word. You've hidden it in your heart. You've whispered it in the secret place. Now it begins to manifest. Not just in thought, but in action. Not just in prayer, but in movement. Because faith was never meant to stay internal. It was always meant to take shape. This is the part where what I've formed within you starts to flow through you. Child, this is what I've been preparing you for. Not to just believe in the promise, but to become the vessel that carries it. You are not who you were when this journey began. You are no longer walking timidly. You are no longer asking, am I really called? Now you walk with conviction. I've been chosen. I've been sent. Activation begins not with doing more, but with doing what I said, fully, freely, boldly. This is the chapter where you stop rehearsing the pain and start releasing purpose. You stop hiding behind questions and start stepping into the answers. You stop delaying out of fear and start obeying out of trust. The preparation is over. The doors are opening. The appointments have been written. The strategies are coming with clarity. The people are coming with confirmation. The opportunities are arriving with my fingerprint all over them. And here's what you must understand. You don't need to feel ready. You need to be available. You don't need every detail. You need to trust my voice for the next step. And when you move with me, you'll begin to see how I've already been moving everything ahead of you. I've been placing your name in rooms you haven't entered yet. I've been stirring hearts that are about to reach out to you. I've been unlocking the gates you thought were shut. I've been clearing paths you haven't even walked yet. But I couldn't activate what you weren't rooted enough to carry, because I don't build fragile success. I build sustainable impact. So don't panic when the pace picks up. Don't shrink when the invitations come. Don't question when I suddenly say, go. This is not the time to hesitate. This is not the time to second guess. This is the time to trust the voice you've come to know so well. I will confirm what is yours. I will shut what is not. I will go before you. I will cover you behind. Activation isn't just for ministry. It's for everything I've called you to influence. You'll feel it when I activate your hands. Suddenly they build what once overwhelmed you. Your mind, ideas flow that you know didn't come from you. Your words, you speak with clarity and boldness, and things shift. Your feet, you walk into places you once felt too small for, with peace. Because now I walk in you. Now I flow through you. The glory that rested on you in the secret now moves with you in the public. You don't carry influence for applause. You carry it for assignment. And some will not understand your activation. They'll wonder how it's happening so fast. But you'll know it wasn't fast. It was faithful. You didn't skip the process. You stayed through the wilderness. You worshiped through the silence. You wept through the undoing. You yielded through the refining. And now, child, I say it again. This is your time. This is your turn. This is the chapter they said would never come, and it has arrived. Don't look back. Don't compare your journey. Don't water down what I've called you to build. This activation is not for approval. It is for impact. It is for legacy. It is for heaven's purposes moving through your surrendered life. So I charge you now, walk with power, not prideful power, humble power, heaven-backed power. Speak with clarity, not to be heard, but to release what I've put in your mouth. Love with boldness, because love is your weapon now. It's what heals atmospheres and softens hearts. Create with intention. What I've given you to build will shift generations. Don't rush it. Don't question it. Just start. You are not repeating an old cycle. You are launching something new, something pure, something weighty, something holy. This is what activation feels like. Courage rising in quiet places. Answers coming with ease. Favor showing up without effort. Insight flowing where confusion once reigned. Divine timing that leaves no room for doubt. This is not hype. This is holy. This is the fulfillment of years of obedience. This is the fruit of seasons where no one saw your yes but me. You are now activated, not for performance, but for presence. Not to impress people, but to impact atmospheres. Not for the spotlight, but to shine my light in hidden places. You will not need to fight for influence. I will place you exactly where your voice is needed. I will whisper, speak, and your words will carry fire. I will say, move, and your feet will carry glory. I will nudge, start, and what you build will carry weight. This chapter will stretch you, it will surprise you, it will change you, because this is where you begin to live what you've believed. This is where heaven partners with earth through you. This is not the rehearsal. This is the moment. So rise, child. Open your mouth. Lift your hands. Step forward. You've been made ready. You've been hidden long enough. Now you are revealed. Not for fame, but for fulfillment. Not for noise, but for names to be written in the Lamb's book of life. This is activation. This is heaven's timing. This is God's confirmation. You are sent. You have turned. You have yielded. You have been aligned, restored, refined. You have been activated. And now, child, I commission you, not with ceremony, but with power. Not with titles, but with authority. Not with applause, but with assignment. This is the moment you stop waiting for permission from people and start walking in the instruction I already gave you. This is not a temporary task. This is a lifestyle of obedience. This is not a one-time word. This is your ongoing yes. I'm not commissioning you to impress. I'm commissioning you to impact, to go into dark places and carry my light, to speak what I've said even when it challenges comfort, to pray until atmospheres shift, to plant seeds even when you don't see the harvest right away. You are not being sent as a performer. You are being sent as a presence carrier. You carry me. You carry the rhythm of heaven. You carry oil that costs more than words can explain. You carry revelation, not recycled opinions. You've passed through the fire. You've sat in the silence. You've come through the stillness. You've endured the waiting. And now I send you. Let me be clear. You are not just being released. You are being entrusted. Entrusted with people. Entrusted with assignments. Entrusted with territories. Entrusted with my heart. And I don't give that lightly. I give it to those who stayed close. You stayed when it wasn't convenient. You sought me when it didn't feel productive. You returned again and again when you could have walked away. And now I release you with this charge. Go where I send you. Speak what I say. Do not dilute it. Do not apologize for it. Do not compare it. You will not be like others. You were not formed in the public. You were formed in the secret place. So don't be surprised when I lead you in ways that don't look like anyone else's path. Don't be discouraged if others don't understand. They weren't in the cave with you. They didn't cry your tears. They didn't feel the ache of waiting in silence, but I did, and I see you. And now I say go. Go with confidence, not in your gift, but in my grace. Go with clarity, not with every step mapped, but with every step led. Go with authority, not man-made, but heaven-ordained. You do not walk alone. You are backed by heaven. Angels surround your assignments. My spirit fills your mouth when words fall short. My peace confirms your direction. My fire marks your movement. I am not sending you into confusion. I am sending you into clarity. You will know. You will sense. You will discern. Because this commissioning is not based on feelings. It's based on the truth I've written over your life. So go and write what I show you. Go and build what I breathe on. Go and serve where I plant you. Go and love with a fire that cannot be quenched. Let your yes speak louder than your insecurities. Let your obedience speak louder than your fear. Let your peace be louder than your critics. Let your presence speak before your platform ever does. You are not just going to represent me. You are going to reveal me. I'm commissioning you to reveal my nature, to show what it looks like to walk with God in the middle of the world's chaos, to show what it means to forgive when it's costly, to show what it means to stay soft in a hardened world, to show what it means to speak with grace and live with fire. You are my message. Your life is a sermon. Your presence is a prophecy. Your movement is a testimony. You've been asking, where will I go? And I'm saying, start where you are. Start with the one. Start with the quiet yes. Start with the prayer no one hears but me. Start with the space I've already placed in front of you. Don't wait for the crowd. Don't wait for applause. Start now. As you move, I will guide. As you speak, I will fill. As you stretch, I will meet you. As you obey, I will multiply. This commissioning is not a finish line. It is the beginning of everything I've prepared in secret. You will feel the wind of my spirit behind your steps. You will feel the weight of my voice confirming your path. You will feel the urgency of eternity shaping how you steward your time. Don't waste it. Don't delay. Don't retreat when resistance comes, because yes, resistance will come, but it won't stop what I've set in motion. This is not a season of maybe. This is a move of God, and you are part of it. Let me say it clearly. You are not just called, you are commissioned, and with that commission comes covering. I will not send you and leave you. I will not assign you and abandon you. I will walk with you through every door. I will sit with you in every room. I will weep with you over the ones I love, and I will strengthen you for every task ahead. So go with joy. Go with authority. Go with reverence. Go with power. Go with fire. And when you forget who you are, come back to this word. Read it again. Declare it out loud. Let it echo in your bones. You have not been randomly chosen. You have been intentionally commissioned. And now, child, you are ready. Now that you've been commissioned, you must understand. This was never just about you. This was never just about your breakthrough, your platform, your calling. This was about what comes after you. This is about legacy. Legacy is not what you leave behind when you're gone. It's what you release while you're still living. It's what your life teaches when you're not speaking. It's the imprint of heaven in the everyday moments no one applauds. I didn't raise you for a moment. I raised you for impact that outlives your breath. I formed you in secret not just to speak to a generation, but to plant seeds that will rise long after your name fades. And so now I bring you into the deeper purpose, the long obedience, the quiet consistency, the fruit that doesn't always grow quickly, but grows roots that will never be shaken. Because legacy isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the secret place, in how you love, in how you forgive, in how you show up even when it costs you everything. Legacy begins in the home before it ever echoes in the world. It begins in how you raise your children, how you treat the stranger, how you honor those who cannot repay you, how you carry purity when compromise would be easier, how you remain faithful when no one sees. Child, I am calling you to live prophetic, not just speak prophetic, to walk in such a way that your life becomes a living scroll, my word written in your footsteps, my nature revealed in your reactions, because when you're gone from a room, your legacy will stay. When your posts are deleted, when your title shifts, when the people forget your face, what will remain? Let it be the fragrance of my presence. Let it be the fruit of a life surrendered. Let it be the sound of chains broken by your quiet prayers. This is the kind of life that ripples into eternity, not the loud life, but the lasting one. And this is what I want you to understand. You don't build legacy by accident. You build it through intentional surrender. Every yes to me plants another eternal seed. Every act of obedience, though unseen, is a brick in the foundation of generational freedom. I am not just working through you. I am working through your line. Your children, your children's children, the ones you disciple, the ones you mentor, the ones who will never know your name but will live in the freedom you fought for. Every battle you chose to face instead of avoid. You fought not just for yourself, but for them. Every generational curse you broke, every cycle you refused to repeat, every addiction you exposed to the light, every tear you prayed through in the night. It mattered. It still matters. Because legacy is about more than what you do. It's about what you set in motion. And now I invite you to see the long view. Not just the next opportunity, but the next generation. Build what will still bear fruit in storms you'll never see. Speak what will echo in the hearts of those you'll never meet. Write what your grandchildren's children will read and say, "This came from someone who knew God." I am not asking you to chase legacy. I'm asking you to be faithful and let legacy follow. Because here's what happens when you walk with me. People remember peace that entered when you did. They remember prayers that held them when their strength failed. They remember a steady light that didn't flicker with culture's trends. They remember being seen, truly seen, and still loved. That is legacy. Not a monument, but a memory of heaven on earth. So be consistent. Be faithful in the hidden. Keep showing up when no one claps. Keep building what looks small. Keep choosing obedience over applause. You will not always see the fruit, but you are planting eternity. I am establishing a people through you, a line of worshipers, a legacy of intercessors, a generation of prophets, builders, teachers, reformers, lovers of truth, and carriers of glory. And it starts with you. Not because you're flawless, but because you're willing. Because you said yes when others said no. Because you kept your heart soft in the fire. Because you chose me over visibility. And now, your yes is stretching across time. Let me speak clearly. You will leave a mark not by being louder, but by being rooted. You will not pass on perfection. You will pass on presence. You will not pass on performance. You will pass on purity of heart. And when others look back, they will say, someone walked with God here. Someone loved when it wasn't easy. Someone gave when it wasn't convenient. Someone built when it didn't make sense. Someone planted when others were too afraid. And that someone was you. So live now for what outlives you. Sow now what will grow beyond your reach. Speak now what heaven is echoing. Pray now like your grandchildren are already listening. Build now like generations are counting on your faithfulness. Because they are. And I will honor it. I will multiply it. I will water every seed. And long after your name fades from memory, your legacy will still be speaking. Now that you've built with legacy in mind, now that you've said yes without needing recognition, now that your life has become a seed, it is time to speak of what I long to give you, the inheritance. Not the kind the world chases, not houses or platforms or possessions, but the kind of wealth that cannot be stolen, the kind of authority that is eternal, the kind of blessing that runs through bloodlines and through time. I am not merely the God of beginnings. I am the God of inheritance, and I give to my children what the world cannot manufacture. What you have been walking through was not just for healing, not just for power, not just for purpose. It was for positioning, because I don't hand inheritance to the unprepared. I entrust it to the faithful. And you, beloved, you've been faithful. You've chosen the narrow road. You've wept through the night watches. You've warred in prayer when no one knew. You've carried my name more than your own. You've built altars, not towers. So now I say, come up. Come and receive what I have stored for you in secret. Come and take what your obedience has unlocked. This is not payment. This is not reward. This is inheritance. Inheritance is not earned. It's received. It's what I give to sons and daughters who've learned how to remain. It's what belongs to the surrendered. It's what flows from covenant, not from competition. Let me tell you what I'm releasing. Inheritance of authority. You will no longer second-guess the power you walk in. You will speak, and things will move. Not because of your charisma, but because of your connection to me. When you walk into rooms, you will carry territorial weight. You will not fight to be heard. Your presence will carry my voice. You've proven that you don't misuse authority. You don't manipulate, you don't promote yourself, and now I say, I'm giving you greater measure, because I can trust you with more. Inheritance of revelation. There are mysteries I have reserved for the surrendered. Deep truths that are not for mass consumption, but for those who stay close. You will receive insight that breaks generational strongholds. You will understand my word with supernatural clarity. You will carry language that unlocks hearts. Because you have not asked for influence, you have asked for my heart. And because of that, I will show you what others miss. Inheritance of rest. You have labored. You have endured. You have built in tears. Now I bring you into a land called rest. A a rhythm not of striving but inheritance-born stillness. Your rest will not be idleness. It will be confidence. Confidence that I am moving even when you are still, that I am working while you worship, that I am finishing what you only started. You will sleep deeply. You will lead from rest. You will no longer be moved by urgency, only by unction. Inheritance of joy. This joy is not situational. It is not seasonal. It is not thin. It is rooted. It is a reward for your weeping. It is a banner over your life. You have mourned with me. Now I teach you how to dance with me. This joy will become your strength, and it will attract others into the kingdom, not through pressure, but through presence. Because people will look at you and say, there's something in them that never runs dry. 5. Inheritance of generational blessing. Because of your yes, I am reaching backward to heal what came before you, and I am reaching forward to bless what will come after you. You are standing in the gap of history, and I am sealing what the enemy tried to fracture. Your obedience has shifted your family line. Your prayer has rerouted destinies. Your tears have watered the soil of revival. Your children will not inherit your battles. They will inherit your victories. They will walk in wisdom they didn't earn. They will know peace they never had to fight for. This is the power of a surrendered life. This is the inheritance of the righteous. Inheritance of unshakable identity. You no longer have to prove yourself. You no longer need external confirmation. I have called you mine, and now I establish you in the confidence of that call. You are not what they said. You are not what you feared. You are not what you lost. You are heir to my promises. You are partaker of divine nature. You are beloved, entrusted, sealed with glory. And this identity will not waver with criticism. It will not inflate with praise. It will remain grounded in the truth of who I am and who you are in me. This is the inheritance of those who trust me, not stored in vaults, but stored in vessels. You are that vessel. You have been emptied. Now you will be filled. And the best part? This is only the beginning, because inheritance is not a final prize. It is the fuel for your next level of purpose. I give it to you, not just for comfort, but for commissioning. To bless, to release, to impart, to multiply what you've received. So take what I've placed in your hands, not with fear, but with fire, not with trembling, but with trust. You are not just anointed, you are entrusted. You are not just called, you are crowned. You are not just included, you are inheriting. And no one can steal what I have written with your name. Not delay, not failure, not people, not time. This is your inheritance, and it is secure. You've received the inheritance. You've walked through refinement, silence, alignment, and overflow. You've been mantled, activated, and commissioned, and now, beloved, you reign, not with arrogance, not with control, but with authority that flows from surrender. You reign not over people, but in the territory I've assigned you. Because to reign in my kingdom is not to sit on a throne made by men. It is to walk in dominion that comes from knowing me. And you, child, have learned the secret of true power. To reign is to yield. To reign is to serve. To reign is to love from the center of truth. You don't have to grasp for influence. You carry weight. You don't have to manipulate outcomes. You live in alignment. You don't have to defend your seat. I gave it to you. I established you. Let me say this clearly. You are not just surviving anymore. You are governing. This is your territory. This is your realm of impact. This is where you plant and watch fruit remain. You reign in your home, in your thought life, in your language, in your presence, in your atmosphere. Not because you control it, but because heaven rules through you. Where once chaos governed you, now peace does. Where once insecurity led, now confidence in me reigns. Where once fear dictated decisions, now faith speaks first. I have trained you for this reign. I taught you to worship in silence. I taught you to lead with clean hands. I taught you to rest while others raced. I taught you to speak only when it's heaven speaking. You rule now from a higher place, not by climbing but by bowing, not by force but by fire. This is not man's kingdom, this is my kingdom, and my kingdom reigns through hearts fully surrendered. Do not confuse your current assignment with the fullness of your reign. This is only the beginning of your territory. Because as you stay faithful, I expand your borders. As you remain rooted, I widen your reach. As you walk in humility, I release more authority. The world promotes based on appearance, but I increase based on alignment. You don't need to announce your elevation. I reveal it. You don't need to orchestrate your influence. I send it. You don't need to compete. You are already crowned. And this crown, it is not made of gold. It is not physical. It is not the applause of men. It is the mark of my image on your life. It is the weight of my spirit on your decisions. It is the calm in your voice when storms rage. It is the clarity in your eyes when others are confused. This is the reign of the righteous, where kingship looks like servanthood, where dominion looks like discernment, where leadership looks like love that lays its life down. You will reign in conversations others avoid. You will reign in industries others bowed to. You will reign in family lines where trauma ruled for generations. Because when I place someone in dominion, I don't do it for appearances. I do it for transformation. You will walk into rooms that once intimidated you, and the room will shift, not because of you, but because of who walks with you. The places that once mocked you will witness your favor. The voices that once dismissed you will hear you speak with divine fire. The places that once tried to bury you will become the soil where resurrection blooms. This is the beauty of reigning with me. You are not seated alone. You are seated with Christ in heavenly places. You are not beneath your battles. You are above them. You are not beneath accusation. You are covered by my blood. You are not under fear. You walk in perfect love. So now I charge you, reign with wisdom, reign with justice, reign with mercy, reign with unwavering truth. Let your leadership look like presence before pressure. Let your decisions be bathed in prayer, not politics. Let your heart stay pure, even as the stage gets larger. Because to reign in my kingdom is to carry the cross. It's to carry the weight of purpose without the poison of pride. And you have been trusted with much. Not because you're perfect, but because you said yes. Over and over again you returned to me. So now I give you the keys to places you thought were lost, the keys to hearts that were hardened, the keys to systems that were corrupted, the keys to dreams that were buried. And what you unlock, no man will be able to shut. Walk with the confidence of a king. Kneel with the posture of a servant. Speak with the weight of one who has been with me. Lead with the grace of one who knows how far I've carried them. This is not temporary influence. This is kingdom dominion. This is not about climbing ladders. This is about opening gates. So take your place. Take your seat. Take your mantle. Take your joy. Take your strength. And rule well. Because this is not the reign of ambition. This is the reign of the faithful. You are not just healed. You are whole. You are not just restored. You are ruling. You are not just chosen. You are enthroned in purpose. You are reigning for such a time as this. You have come full circle, not back to where you started, but forward to what I always intended. You were stripped. You were shaped. You were sent. You have reigned with humility. And now, child, you will Witness what this whole journey has been leading to. The return of glory. Not just glory around you, but glory within you. Not temporary fire, but abiding presence. Not fleeting encounters, but sustained habitation. You have become a dwelling place. You've made your life an altar. You've prepared the soil. You've learned how to carry me, not just visit me. And now, I come to rest. Not just in your meetings, not just in your words, but in your very being. I'm no longer visiting occasionally. I'm inhabiting consistently. I'm saturating your daily life, your waking, your speaking, your silence, your movement. Child, this is glory. Glory is not just what stuns people. Glory is what transforms them. Glory is not goosebumps in a moment. It's the weight that settles and stays, not to crush you, but to confirm me in you. This is the chapter where people will not just hear about me, they will see me in you. They'll encounter peace they can't explain. They'll feel conviction without you saying a word. They'll ask questions they didn't know they had, because my glory will be upon you like a mantle that cannot be hidden. They will say, "There's something about this one." And they'll be right. It's me. You are carrying my glory now, and glory will change how you speak. You'll find fewer words are needed because I'm speaking through your presence. You'll find your silence carries power because it's pregnant with my voice. You'll find joy is your strength because you no longer carry the weight alone. Because I've returned to my rightful place in you, the place not just of visitation but habitation, and the world will feel the evidence of it. But hear this clearly. Glory is not for display. It's for transformation. I did not crown you to be admired. I crowned you to change atmospheres. The places where the enemy had dominion, I will now fill with my presence through you. You will walk into hospitals and healing will break out. You will enter businesses and strategies will align. You will write, and people will weep not because of eloquence but because my glory rests in the ink. This is the time of fullness. This is what you've been waiting for, aching for, weeping for. This is the chapter where the weight you once feared becomes the sign of favor, where the fire that once burned now builds, where the pressing you once endured becomes the place of power. I am releasing glory not to highlight your story but to reveal my story through you. I am returning glory to the places it was lost. Where religion replaced relationship, glory is returning. Where compromise silenced conviction, glory is returning. Where movements became machines, glory is returning. Where performance replaced presence, glory is returning. And it's returning through vessels like you. Those who didn't give up when no one saw. Those who repented quickly and stayed soft. Those who chose my voice over their visibility. I'm not looking for perfection, I'm looking for posture. And your posture says, "Here I am, Lord. Dwell in me, rest on me, move through me." So now I pour out. Glory that heals trauma you didn't know was still there. Glory that revives dreams that died in the last season. Glory that silences the torment in your mind. Glory that draws the hungry without effort. Glory that stays, that lingers, that hovers. You will feel it again in worship, but now it won't lift so quickly. You will sense it in silence, but now it will thicken into revelation. You will notice it in conversations, but now it will overflow into impartation. You have become the resting place, not the destination, but the altar I've longed to rest on. This is not hype. This is holy. This is the glory that Moses saw from behind the rock, the glory that filled the temple in Isaiah's vision, the glory that descended at Pentecost, the glory that shook prison cells, the glory that raised the dead. That glory has returned, not in clouds or smoke alone, but in the hearts of the laid down ones. And now you are among them. I am setting you apart, not for separation, but for consecration. You will carry what others have mishandled. You will protect what others played with. You will weep over what others ignored. You will build altars where others built platforms. Because you are not just walking in authority, you are walking in glory, and wherever my glory is, miracles happen, chains break, vision clears, love flows, deliverance comes. This is why I took you the long way. This is why I stripped the noise. This is why I said not yet. This is why I silenced the applause. Because I didn't want you to carry success. I wanted you to carry glory. Now, you do. So guard it, protect it. Don't chase crowds, chase clouds. Don't seek stages, seek sacred space. Don't strive, stay surrendered. The glory does not rest on performance, it rests on purity. And as long as you stay yielded, the glory will stay present. You are not just a vessel, you are a tabernacle. You are not just a mouthpiece, you are a manifestation of my dwelling. This is the return, this is the wait, this is the reward, and it is not fading. This is the final chapter, not the end of your journey, but the beginning of everything I've written over your life. This is not closure. This is commissioning with blessing. This is the benediction, the final seal, the holy sending, the divine yes and amen. You've walked through fire and come out without smoke. You've been refined in secret and raised in silence. You've been taught, torn, trained, and trusted. And now I speak a final word over you, not as a conclusion, but as a release. Let every step from here be blessed. Let every room you enter recognize the fragrance of my presence. Let every conversation carry the weight of heaven. Let every word spoken be a seed that births eternal fruit. You are not who you once were. You have been reborn in fire. Your name has been whispered in my courts. You are known in heaven and feared in hell. This is the benediction of the faithful, the blessing for those who didn't give up in the dark, the covering for those who stayed when others walked away, the favor on the ones who chose obedience over opportunity. So now, I wrap my words around you like a cloak. You are blessed in the rising and in the resting. You are blessed in your speaking and your silence. You are blessed in hidden places and public ones. You are blessed in what you touch and in what you release. You are blessed in every yes, in every no, and in every wait. You are covered in fire and anchored in peace. You are walking evidence of what surrender can build. You are a living testimony of what my hand can resurrect. You are an answer to the prayers of generations. So lift your head. Square your shoulders. Look forward. The road behind you was not a detour. It was your divine preparation. The pain wasn't wasted. The silence wasn't empty. The crushing wasn't cruelty. It was how I produced oil. And now you pour, you will walk, and people will be healed. You will speak, and veils will be torn. You will move, and atmospheres will bow. You will remain, and foundations will shake. Because I am with you. Not just beside you, within you. This benediction isn't just a blessing. It is a sending. It is a charge. It is a declaration. Let every word you've read settle into your marrow. Let it echo in the days where you feel weak. Let it rise in the nights when doubt whispers. Let it roar when resistance comes. Let it remind you, you are marked. You are not ordinary. You are not late. You are not overlooked. You are not unfinished. You are formed for fire. You are built to last. You are destined for glory. You are sealed with purpose. And heaven stands as witness to what begins from here. So I say now, with full authority of the one who formed you, go. Go with eyes that see clearly. Go with ears that hear heaven. Go with a heart that remains soft even in battle. Go with hands that heal and feet that bring peace. Go with joy that doesn't depend on outcome. Go with truth that cannot be shaken. Go with love that cannot be quenched. Go with power that cannot be stolen. Go not to strive but to flow, not to impress but to impart, not to carry titles but to carry glory. Go, child, this is your time. This is your release. This is your benediction. and surely goodness and mercy will follow you all the days of your life. And you will dwell in my presence not for a season, not for a moment, but forever. Amen.